Hey guys, Hope Horizons here, coming at you with a balance update for Warhammer 40k Warpforge, the card game. This is a launch patch, and we'll just go over it briefly. I will put the cards on the screen for any of the cards so you have you have a picture to actually look at for them, rather than me going back and forth between a bunch of shit. Um, so after analyzing the latest data, a number of cards have received a balance update to make them fit. Yep, and we'll get right into it. So Sternguard Sergeant is a 3 energy cost, 3 range, 3 melee, 3 HP, with a codex ability of deal 2 damage to a random enemy. I quite feel that this card is very balanced. It's a very good card for a 3 cost. It'll definitely go in most decks, I feel like, even if it doesn't really fit with a certain play style. As a codex deck, obviously, but that works quite well. We have Intercessor Sergeant, which is just a 3 energy cost, 2 melee, 4 range, 3 health with no ability. Pretty standard, pretty basic. I don't know if people will run this, purely because it's just basic. It has no keywords. It's there. It's a good stat. It's a good stat card for what it is, but that's about it. Then we've got Primaris Invader. Primaris Invader is just a 4 energy, 3 melee, 5 ranged, 5 HP vehicle. No real keyword to be a note here. It's just another stat, but you can buff it, I guess. There's a lot of different things you could do with these cards. You could definitely buff them, but it's again another basic card like Intercessor Sergeant. We have Desolation Marine. Desolation Marine is, let me just grab that up. Desolation Marine is a 6 mana, or 6 energy, sorry. 3 melee, 5 ranged, 6 health with a keyword of Blast 3. I predict that this card will definitely be used in a lot of different decks. Blast 3, there's rarely any Blast 3s in the game at the moment, at least naturally, and this card will definitely be played quite a lot. For a common as well, crafting it very easily. Yeah, I definitely see this as a threat to a lot of different decks, especially the Nids, Necrons, and a lot of other rushes that can spawn stuff. Even just like any sort of flood, any card that can flood the board, that card can pretty much counter it. And yeah, that's pretty good. And now we've got Storm Talon. Storm Talon is something that I've had a look at briefly. It's a 7 energy, 2 melee, 6 ranged, 7 HP flying. Now for a flyer, its stats aren't that good, honestly. It can be taken out by a lot of the Orks cheap 3 mana flyers that are 3 melee, 1 ranged. It can be killed with kill cards, but it is another threat on the board. Because it is flying. Flying is annoying to get annoying to kill. It costs a lot of resources to get them out of the way. I reckon it will be good. I don't think it'll be the best, but it'll definitely be pretty good. Then we've got Humanity's Shield. Humanity's Shield is your Warlord becomes invulnerable until your next turn for 2 energy. That's going to be in everyone's decks. That's it. It's just going to be in everyone's decks. We have the Chapters Do. The Chapters Do is choose a friendly infantry that died at this game and return it to your deck. Draw a card. Most likely going to be in a lot of different decks. I assume it's going to be a very common card to see just because of the draw and being able to choose a friendly card that died this game. If it gets to the overtime, easily able to pick up a big card that got one-shotted, put it back in your deck, and then maybe have a chance to redraw it. Definitely going to be very strong, and we'll see how that goes from there. And we've got Battlefield Supremacy, which is lower the cost of all vehicles in your hand and deck by 1. Draw a vehicle from your deck. That's going to be in every Ultramarine vehicle deck is going to be running that. Straightforward. For 3 energy, that's really, really cheap. It's really good, and it'll make overtime a lot more harder. It'll make a lot of their stuff a lot harder to deal with. And I'll be able to get it out more often. And then we've got Chapter Council and Angels of Death. So, Chapter's Council. Where was that? So, choose a troop from your deck, draw it, and heal 6 to your Warlord for 6 energy. That's going to be a lot of people's decks as well. Like, a lot of these cards, besides the basic ones, are going to be in a lot of people's decks purely because healing 6 is great, and choosing a troop from your deck and drawing it is great. Just great altogether. 6 energy might be a little bit too much, but if we think about it, the Necrons have a heal 5 plus 2 melee for 5 energy or 6 energy as well. Same with a few others. It's not too bad. And Angels of Death is deploy 4 Primaris Intercessors and give them flank. That's going to be a very, very good card. I've already seen that on live. It's going to be amazing. It's hard to deal with because they have 3 HP. They're 2 melee, 3 ranged, 3 HP. Very hard to deal with. The flank can clear a lot of stuff. You'll need to definitely wait for board clear for that type of stuff. And to moving on to the updated cards for Ultramarines. Alright, so we've got Hellblaster, which is increased cost from 3 to 4 and increases the melee from 1 to 2 and range to 3 to 4. So Hellblaster is definitely going to be really, really good now. The cost to 4 doesn't really nerf it too much because the buffs are so good. Purely because that card had Blast 2, right? Originally, the Blast 2 for a 3 cost was really good. It's more balanced now with the 4 cost, but I think it's still going to be seen quite frequently. And then we've got Apothecary Polixis. What did that change? So increases it from 4 to 5 cost, increases melee, range, attack, and health from 4 to 5. So it's just a straight up 5 across the board. And its codex is heal 2 to a random unit. I think that's going to be good. It's a good stat. It's 5. Yeah. And it heals 2, so why not? Have it on there. It might fit in a lot of bigger decks, like ramp decks. And then we've got Aggressor Sergeant, lowering blast to 2 to 1. We probably won't see this as much. It is another 5, like Apothecary Polixis. But having only a blast 1, it might make it not as favored anymore. And then we'll go to Company Ancient, which is changed, increases the cost from 5 to 6, increase melee attack range all to 6, including health, and changing description to your other units have +1 melee attack, +1 range instead of only troops. So that now affecting your Warlord definitely makes it infinitely better. The change of cost might hurt it a little bit, but ultimately that is going to be a better card. It is going to be a way better card. You'll probably see that more often. And yeah. Moving on to the Goth Orcs, we've got a lot of new cards. So let's just dive into this real quick. We've got Orc Boy and Deathcopter. Orc Boy being a 2 energy, 3 melee, 1 ranged, 3 HP. Just a single card. Doesn't have Tide. It doesn't have Flank. Doesn't have anything else. It's just a pretty basic card. I don't think that'll be used quite often. We've got Deathcopter. Deathcopter is, if I can grab that up again, is a 4 energy, 2 melee, 4 ranged with 5 HP that has Unstable, Flying, and Tide 2. I see that being used quite often in ramps. Again, it's just another good Tide. The Unstable might make it a little bit less favorable, just because you don't want to obviously killing your own cards. But yeah, that could be pretty good. And then we've got Orknob and Boomdacker. Orknob being a friendly troops have flank for 4 energy, 4 ranged, 4 melee, and 5 HP. That'll be in everyone's decks, guarantee it. Because all your friendly troops having flank is so good for Orcs. That'll be a must for any deck. It doesn't matter what it is. And Boomdacker Snazwagon, which is a Tide 1 flank for 5 energy, 4 ranged, 4 melee, 5 ranged, 4 HP. That's just great board clear. And it's Tide as well, so if you hit 10 mana, you could just quickly wipe a 10. You can even wipe a 10 card, like a 10 HP card. Very, very good. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Just had to breathe. And now we've got Big Shooter Boy. Where is he? He's a 6 energy, 2 melee, 6 ranged, 6 HP with no keywords. I do not see this being used quite often. Maybe as a big stat stick by buffing the crap out of it, but otherwise I do not see that being used at all. That's just my personal opinion on that one. On Tank Buster, Tank Buster is a 6 energy, 4 melee, 4 ranged, 6 HP with Blast 2. Definitely see that being used a lot. Having the 6 HP making it a bit tankier. On the plus side of being able to buff it, the Blast 2 is really good for clearing out the board. Definitely a well-rounded card. And then we've got Rucker Truck Squig Buggy. Fucking Squigs. So, Bomb Squigs actually got buffed this patch, as we see down here. Bomb Squigs now dealing 2 to 3 damage to all enemies instead of 1 to 3. Definitely makes this card a lot better. Though being unstable might make it a little less unfavorable. But then again, the stats are 6 energy, 4 melee, 7 ranged, and 6 HP. Definitely going to see that a lot in a lot of decks. Definitely well-rounded, and the Squig Buggies are going to be really, really annoying to deal with. Now, lastly, we've got the Commando and 2 other cards. Commando is 7 energy, 7 melee, 4 ranged, 6 HP, with stealth and striking to gain stealth. Definitely can see that in a lot of decks as well. The 7 energy, though, might make it a bit maybe unfavorable because there might be other better high tier cards. I mean, look, Squig Buggy's really good, and then we've got Gunwagon coming up. That's really good as well. But I can see that being used. Gunwagon, as I was previously stating, is 8 energy with 4 melee, 7 range, 7 HP, with unstable, concussive, and that's it really. Concussive being it stuns someone who it stuns whoever it attacks. Very, very good. Unstable, obviously making it a bit less favorable, but it is very good for the concussion alone. And then last but not least, Pyromaniacs. 3 energy, give blast 2 to all your units this turn. Very, very strong. I predict we'll see that against a lot of even just being used on one unit. That's value. So definitely we'll be seeing that a lot. Now, Bomb Squigs. Bomb Squigs being changed from 1 to 2 melee attack. Obviously way better. Now dealing 2 to 3 damage to all enemies. Like, goddamn, that's amazing value for what it is. Bomb Squigs are so good now. Next up is Stormboy. Stormboy having Tide 1. It's a bit of a buff. It's what I was saying before previously, was that they have now 3 melee, well not now, they have 3 melee, 1 range, 2 cost, 3 HP. The 2 cost now being able to summon 2 Stormboys for the cost of 4. That's honestly pretty good. They have flying, so that's going to be really annoying to deal with. And they'll be able to kill a lot of shit quite off the bat. Next one we go into is Grot Tank. Grot Tank being lowered cost from 4 to 3, but also lowering the range attack from 5 to 3, and health from 4 to 3. So this makes it pretty. It still has armor 1. So it's still having armor 1 still makes it very good. We'll definitely be seeing this in a lot of decks. I'll definitely be using it myself. And yeah, it's just a very solid card overall. And then going on to the Mega Knob Ugrax, increasing ranged and health from 5 to 6. Yeah, with this card already being 6 energy, 5 HP, 6 ranged, 5 melee, 6 ranged, 6 HP for 6 energy. On top of it already having Blast 2 and Mob Creator Slugger Boy. This is a very good card, you'll see. I don't know if you'll put 2 of them in your deck, but you'll definitely have 1 for sure. Ardshell Gurk, changed rarity from epic to legendary. Yep. Lower melee attack from 9 to 8, health from 8 to 6, and now has 2 armor. So the 2 armor negates kind of it lowering its HP, because it can reduce a lot of the lower damaging units, troops to 1 damage, which makes it very, very good. And it being able to summon Follower of Gork, which gives, now as you see here, underneath, gives permanent +2 melee attack, +2 HP to a friendly troop. It's not just this turn. That basically makes Ardshell Gurk a must-have in all of your Orc decks. And we'll go on to the next one from there. Now, I'm a bit biased, but Necrons are my boys. But they didn't really get much change, which I'm actually kind of okay with. I feel like they're in a very good spot right now. So, all that's really happened is we've got a new card, which is Royal Warden. Royal Warden being 6 energy, 6 HP, 2 melee, 6 ranged, rally, deal 3 damage to an enemy. I think it's just a very good card overall. It's very solid. And I run it in all my decks. I run 1 or 2 of them, 2 at max if I can, but otherwise very good. And the only other change that we've really seen is Resurrection Orb going from 4 cost to 3 cost, which is resurrect all remnants on the field. Very, very good. And as I forgot to see, Command Barrage no longer having the 3 damage rally effect it does, being that it was given to Warden. But Command Barrage will never see play ever again. This card is a 6 energy, 2 melee, 6 ranged, 6 HP. It'll never see. It's got no effects. It's just a stat stick that's not even worth buffing. It's not good. And disintegration capacity is being removed. Doesn't really do much either. Overall, actually a pretty good change here for Necrons. And we'll move on to the Black Legions. Black Legions having 3 new cards, basically the same as Necrons. Not really getting as much love, but I think they're pretty good. I know a lot of people are saying that they're kind of weak. I don't think that. I think it'll take the community a bit to learn them, but I do not think they're weak at all. With Dark Disciple being a new 1 mana, 2 energy, 1 mana, 2 melee, 2 range, 2 HP. For 1 energy, you could definitely buff this with Dark Packs, making it huge. Having 1 energy means that you can use a lot of your expensive Dark Packs and make it huge and make it something you have to kill. Next card is Havoc. Havoc being a 5 energy, 3 melee, 6 ranged, 5 HP. Most of Black Legion's cards are stat 6 anyway, where you buff them with Dark Packs. I think this will be a good card. You'll see this a lot. Maybe put 1 in your deck. I wouldn't put 2 in it. Murderous Desires. Make a damaged friendly unit attack by itself for 4 energy. You're going to see that a lot. That's just great value. So you can attack and then attack again with 2 cards. And yeah, that's just really good. That's just amazing. A nice little card for Black Legion. Alright. Now, Chaos Terminator. Increased cost from 5 to 6, increased melee from 4 to 5, and range from 5 to 6. So, that was Chaos Terminator. Chaos Terminator, 6 energy, 5 melee, 6 range to 6 HP. Now with Vanguard, it having Vanguard by itself, you'll see that in a lot of decks. Vanguard is so good. Well, I mean, you see as a taunt, it's amazing. All Vanguards are usually amazing, with the exception of a few. But yeah, no, you'll see this. You'll definitely see this. Next card, we have Child of Torment being increased from 5 to 6 cost and increasing all its ranged attack and health from 5 to 6. This is a 6 energy, 4 melee, 6 range, 6 HP. When a unit receives damage, this gets +1 range. You'll see this a lot in a lot of Chaos Swarms. It's overall just good because when a unit, including your Warlord, you could easily make that a 7 ranged in 1 turn, easily make it up to 10. That'll be a good card for clearing big cards on the map. Next card we're doing is Obliterator, increasing cost from 6 to 7, increasing ranged attack and health from 7 to 8. Overall, really good. Obliterator being a 7 energy, 4 melee, 8 ranged, 8 HP. It's very good for its cost. Though not having a keyword, it makes it a little bit hard to look at. But I do see that having maybe one of those cards in your deck and buffing it late game to making it a bit of a fucking beast. Next one is... where is it? Dark Oratory, lowering cost from 3 to 2. Dark Oratory is just give a Dark Pack to all friendly troops. You'll see that as a must-have. It is a legendary. You'll definitely see that in every single deck. Not much else to say about it. Now, Drachnia, or Drachnien. This is give it +4 melee attack to a friendly unit. The fact that this is 6 energy, give +4 melee attack, and you can give it to your Warlord? God, that's going to be awesome. That's definitely going to be a lot of Warlord-centric decks, especially in the base hero that gives Blast too. That'll be very good to have. Moving on to the Samhain Aeldari. This is it's a pretty okay patch. It's pretty beefy, but mainly the new cards are pretty early on. So first we've got Weapons Platform, which is 2 energy, 0 melee, 3 range, 3 HP. I don't think we'll see this much. It's most likely will get buffed with... you could easily buff it with melee attack with Devoted of Cain, which we'll see later. It's okay card. For 2 cost, I think it's well worth it, but it's okay. And then we've got Dire Avenger. Dire Avenger being a 4 energy, 1 melee, 4 ranged, 4 HP with Waystone. Definitely an okay stat item, but you mainly, if you are going to put that in your deck, you'll just want it for the Waystone, really. That's about it. And then we've got Dire Avenger Exarch with 6 energy, 6 melee, 2 ranged, 6 HP. The complete opposite of Dire Avenger with more melee than ranged. But for 6 mana, with a Waystone attached to it, meaning that they have to waste another attack on the Waystone, yeah, you'll see maybe 1 or 2 in a deck. I'd assume maximum 1. And Devoted of Cain is 3 energy, give +1 melee to your troops with using 1 Spirit Stone to repeat that effect. So for 3 energy and 1 Spirit Stone, you could make a lot of these cards an extra +2 melee attack. And that's to all your troops. Very good. Very, you'll see maybe 1 or 2 in the decks. For a lot of rush decks, you'll see those. And yeah, going on to the changed cards, we've got a lot of these to go through. So first and foremost, we've got Wave. Wait, no, is it Wave? Yeah, Wave Serpent. Sorry, not Wave Serpent, Swooping Hawk. Swooping Hawk going from ranged attack 2 to 3, and it no longer has 2 Shuriken. So Swooping Hawk not having Shuriken anymore, and its attack being raised to 3, so now it's a 3 energy, 2 melee, 3 ranged, 3 HP flyer with Waystone. You won't see it as often. You might have a 1 in your deck. I don't know if you'd have 2. The Shuriken was mainly their attraction point for that. Since that's gone, it's okay. Spirit Seer going from 4 to 5 cost, increasing melee, ranged, and health to 4 to 5. From 4 to 5, sorry. Spirit Seer being 5 energy, 5/5 melee ranged, and 5 HP with Waystone, and use 2 Spirit Stones to deploy Wraithguard. That's just a good rush. You'll be able to get 2 units on the board from that. I'll see that in every deck, most likely. It's just good to get bodies out on the floor, really. Crimson Hunter being 6... So what did they change about it, sorry? Increasing 5 from cost to 5 to 6, increasing HP from 5 to 6. I mean, it's not going to change much. The extra HP is great. Most people who use Crimson Hunter are using it for its rally. Its rally is deal 3 damage to an enemy. If it has flying, deal 6 damage instead. Mainly good for Aeldari Aeldari mirror matchups. I don't see that often being used against other factions that have really big flyers. Maybe Tyranids. But it having 0 melee and 5 range for 6 HP with that rally and it being flying itself, yeah, I see that in all decks. I'll definitely see that from all decks. Fire Dragon, increased cost from 5 to 6, increased melee from 2 to 3, and health from 5 to 6. Fire Dragon being now 6 energy, 3 melee, 6 ranged, 6 HP with Blast 3 and Waystone. Having being one of the only other cards with Blast 3 in the entire game, it's a must-have. Like, the melee might be crap, but if that can survive and you can keep that on the board as much as possible, especially at 6, we won't really have too much contest. And if they kill card it, they've wasted a kill card. I don't think it's worth kill carding. But yeah, just amazing card overall. Wave Serpent being increased cost from 6 to 7, increased melee from 2 to 3, range from 5 to 6. So Wave Serpent initially being 7 energy with flying and talent, Skyborn deployment, and 3 melee, 6 ranged, 7 HP. With the talent alone, it's very good, being able to put more onto the field. But for 7 energy, I mean, for the 7 HP it has now, with flying, it's definitely worth it for a flyer deck for Aeldari. Other than that, you mainly want it for the talent, not for really anything else. Now, the Wraithlord being increased from 7 to 8 cost, and all of its stats being buffed to 7. Mainly all of its attack buffs being buffed to 7. So Wraithlord being 8 energy now, with 7/7 attack range, 8 HP with the ability 3 Spirit Stones to use 3 Spirit Stones to gain +4 melee, +4 ranged. That's definitely going to be a big beefy boy on turn 8 if they have Spirit Stones. Managing against it though, I think if you don't get that Spirit Stones, it's definitely not worth it. Otherwise, actually no, even if you don't get the Spirit Stones, it's definitely worth a card. Wraithlord is very good for what it is. And yeah, that's it for the Aeldari. Now moving on to the Nids, or the Tyranids. So we've got the new cards. Oh lord. We've got a bunch of new cards for Tyranids. We've got about 5 of them. So first and foremost, we've got Neurogaunt Node Beast, which is 2 energy, 2 melee, 1 ranged, 3 HP with Synapse, Swarm, and Tide 1. So it having Synapse, meaning that once you've buffed it, units adjacent to it get buffs as well. That's amazing for a 2 cost. With Swarm and Tide 1, yeah, I see that being used a lot, personally. I see that being used a lot. Alright, with Stranded Termagant being a pretty simple card. 2 energy, 1 melee, 2 ranged, 3 HP. I see that being used in convergence with Neurogaunt, with just buffing it. It's not good by itself. It's definitely very terrible by itself. But it is, since it having 3 HP, it's decent enough. It's not terrible enough to warrant it being trash, but the 3 HP definitely puts it up there for a turn 2. Ravener being a 4 energy, 4 melee, 2 ranged, 4 HP with no keywords whatsoever, like Termagant. Yeah, it's an okay stat stick that you can buff. Simple as that, really. Sorry about that. Bounding Leap, 2 energy, give Blast 2 to a friendly unit this turn. That combined with Neurogaunt, like this comes down to Tyranids want to work with Synapse as much as possible, and giving Blast 2 to a friendly unit, with some of their units also having Flank, Amazing. Amazing card. You'll see that often. And then Ravenous Hunter last and least. We have 4 energy for give Bloodthirst and +1 melee attack to a friendly unit this turn. Again, paired with Synapse, Bloodthirst is so good. Having that extra attack. Wait, is Bloodthirst extra attack? I forget. But either way, Bloodthirst and +1 melee attack to a friendly unit this turn for 4 energy on top of Synapse. Very good. Very, very good. And then lastly, we've got the changes. So we've got about 4 changes here. So we've got Tyrant Guard being increased from 4 to 5 cost and increased melee from 4 to 5. Tyrant Guard originally not being that good before. I mean, it was okay before, actually. The increase in cost doesn't really change much because it's 5 energy, 5 melee, 2 ranged, 5 HP with 2 armor and Vanguard. It's still great. It's still great to have on the board to delay the enemy in order for you to summon some more crap. Yep, overall great. Overall a decent card. Hive Guards being increased cost from 5 to 6, increased melee from 2 to 3, and ranged attack from 5 to 6. Hive Guards also having Vanguard themselves with 6 energy, 3 melee, 6 range, 6 HP, again with Vanguard. Awesome stat. Awesome stats with Vanguard. Even with the Vanguard, it has 6 HP. It's essentially a little bit worse because it doesn't have armor than Tyrant Guard, but it's still great. And then we have High Tyrant, increasing health from 7 to 8. Overall, just a buff. Hive Tyrant being 7 energy, 7/7 ranged melee, 8 HP, Synapse, and Synaptic Imperative. You'll see that in every single deck. And Synaptic Imperative, funny enough, being ephemeral, give +2 attack, +2 range, and +2 health to a friendly troop. That being permanent, and you get that every turn. Yeah, you'll definitely see that. You'll definitely see that in every single deck. So that's it for the balance update for launch. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any feedback or anything like that at all, I appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you all have a great day and a great afternoon, great wherever the hell you are. And I'll be linking all my Twitch stream and stuff and my Twitter and that so you can keep updated with everything in the comment section. And yeah, keep on Warhammering, guys.